First, the Inquisition. You are fanatical. You were selected because you are fanatic, obsessed with serving the Inquisition. You are on a mission to get to Askellon 1. This is the culmination of years and years of research. Hundreds of Acolyte agents have died. You have found clues that Beryldis Apocrypha wrote about an ancient world, a forbidden world that you are about to find. The Navigator houses are all competing to find the fastest way there, and this is done in cooperation with your Inquisitor. The Inquisition ship is in the subsector, waiting for something to happen. You are one of few cells that are still operating within the Inquisition. There are Eldari, there are very powerful forces moving here that control trade and your movement. And it is a very precarious, dangerous time. You are trying to go to be the first, and you are completely oblivious to what is through the gate, but you're trying to figure out as much as possible and get there as soon as possible. Your Inquisitor has just been collected from what we can only describe as hell by Stefan. And in that process, the Inquisitor and Stefan received a bunch of corruption. It was a harrowing, terrible experience. Constantinus died in the process. And you are now on the way back to the room, dragging Constantinus's body, containing, you believe, the Inquisitor's soul. Whenever he speaks, it sounds like him. You try not to look at him, just close your eyes, and you feel the weight of him as you drag him across the carpet, and you see this trail of blood following him. You are in House Brabazon Station. House Brabazon is led by Allure Pearl. She is the Novator and a very dangerous navigator. She has unbelievable wealth and power and influence in the subsector, and you are trying to not step on her toes while going about your business. You've been given this little sort of section of the Void Station for yourselves to do inquisitorial business. She puts up with a lot, but you've noticed that her guards have been a little jumpy. So, currently in the room, I believe, is Jericho, one of your acolyte helpers. Tuscan, James, and you, Pete. Let me drag your character in there. Would you have joined Tavi in collecting the Inquisitor, or would you have been in the room? This is a question for you as well, Sarah.
If we were alerted beforehand and ordered to, then yes. It is it's certainly I am supposed to, obey orders. So I will help. I will be very shocked and intrigued about the outcome, and certainly I would, before going to help, I would pull Sarah to one side. And,
yes. Are you in the room, or are you with Stefan?
No, we'd be in the room, okay, unless we're summoned.
Then, Duskin, where are you currently? What does your character look like?
Duskin is currently outside the room where the ritual took place. Fully armed, fully his regalia. And yeah, that's it.
Alrighty. You are in your personal room that you've been given by House Brabazon. You probably wouldn't be outside where the ritual happened, because Tavi left that room a long time ago.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So, Stefan, can you describe your character and where you are right now?
In a chamber where a lot of medical equipment and aspects are located, with the body of Constantinus, in which serves as a vessel for Caster Typh. Stays Stefan, watching over him, sometimes bothering some of the physicians that are there to take care of his Inquisitor. Moving from left to right as to ensure no sudden movements nor attempts at his Inquisitor's life take place, as he from time to time cackles to himself that he managed to do that which he was destined to, and that he brought back the light of Askellon to its rightful place. Wearing his flat armor, clothed in black underneath his robes, a helmet that is deconstructed into a collar that forms a ring around his neck. On his hip, the storm bolter, and on his backpack, several other such devices of pain. He just watches with his real eye, and now completely removing the eye patch on his right eye, revealing a lifelike Auspex device, with several lenses scanning everything in the room, making sure nothing that shouldn't happen happens.
Awesome. Iskinder, what does your character look like?
Currently, because we were almost called to arms and sent officially forward, and Iskinder is of a nervous disposition, he would be decked out in his Mechanicus robes with his equipment, and it's always very freshly laundered, and the sort of the very long and spindly limbs of Iskinder, and sort of the slightly lighter than normal frame of Mechanicum. The occasional scribe tines from his fingers kind of like just absent-mindedly kind of like extend and retract occasionally as he's standing there in front of the door of the room that Sarah was using to rest and recuperate. It's at the moment his hood is back, and his gridded eyes with a sort of light green light behind them sort of flickers with a slight jitteriness, sort of looking around whenever there's a movement in the room. And, there's always kind of like the occasional like ping of instrumentation sort of underneath his robe, and he occasionally kind of like checks, sort of like almost like checks down his top kind of like thing, and also occasionally sort of mutters to a small like lump under the robes that sort of moves around a little bit. Occasionally will say, be still.
Awesome. Sarah, will you be close to Iskinder in the room?
Yeah, I will have joined at some point after my rest, and I will be standing there looking slightly confused as to what is going on, and turn to Iskinder for some sort of explanation.
Yes, this.
And you are wearing... What are you wearing?
So as I have just come out of my rest, I'm sort of dressed quite casually, wearing my sort of casual, just thrown on some casual sort of robes over some clothes, looking a little bit confused and dazed about what's going on. Yeah.
Dark hair, and you have. Are you strikingly pale or just normal pale?
Yeah, I'm pale, dark hair, slightly strange gait to her, and yeah.
Awesome. And you can all probably feel Sarah's psychic presence.
Yes, there is. Oh, sorry.
In the room. And Jericho is also there. Jericho is wearing a full navy suit. He is sort of standing in the corner of the room, waiting with anticipation. Some Acrocorpum is there as well. Tech Priest, yes. Two bionic eyes that sort of scan the room back and forth and record all of your conversations. Vinkobet will come and go. Stefan, you can initiate and decide where you are and what you're doing.
I am currently in a specialized meditate wing of the facility. I await for the Inquisitor to be given the clean bill of health, and for me to talk to him once he's fully cognizant.
So you're not in the room with the rest of the group?
If they wish, if you wish, I can be there.
No, it's fine. So you are on the ship, and the Inquisitor will get up from this metal slab. You're in a dark room. There's incense sort of hanging in the ceiling. One member of the biologists will be standing by the door. There are a couple of Medicaid servitors standing next to the metal slab. The Inquisitor gets up. Physically, he's fine. He's been given some stimulants and is on his feet. He's walking with you.
What do you feel, my lord?
He's just staring at this reflective metal wall. There's like metal plates, dark grey. The room is quite dark as well. There's like speckled white light coming from through this metal grit in the ceiling. And he's just sort of just staring at this wall. His face lit up by very dim yellow lumen as he just keeps looking at the wall. And it's a strange expression of the Inquisitor, his facial expression on Constantinus's face. He sort of cough a little bit. I was in a different plane of beauty and peace. Then I was pulled. I lived through endless cycles of life and death. He's gonna look down at his hand. It's trembling. I saw the darkest things. There was a woman with a snaring tongue taunting me. Something is wrong. I shouldn't have been there. I should not be here.
Reaching for his shaking hands, grabbing his hands into his own, Stefan will look from downwards to upwards to the Inquisitor as he is on his knees next to his bedside, with a giant twisted smile on his face and tears in his eyes, saying, "They refused to give you back. They were afraid of you coming back. But now you're here to save Askellon, to serve once more."
A tech priest walks in and sort of looks questioningly at you, whether he should intervene. The Inquisitor is just staring at you, his face still facing the wall, but his eyes are sort of jolt up and he's just staring at you, eyes wide open. I remember you. That's all he says.
Feeling his heart skip a bit with renewed vigor and with a smile that doesn't cease to fade, feeling what seems to be absolute delight and pride that the Inquisitor, after all of this time, he would remember him. Stefan would quickly turn to the tech priest, removing the smile, well, an attempt at least, but still remaining on his face. "Is there a problem, tech priest? Are the humors unbalanced? Does he need further rest?"
He has been processed. You must leave. He will blow out a candle, and you can see the incense sort of flying through the air.
As soon as he says, "You must leave," Stefan's smile turns, fades, and his face returns to neutral with a hint of contempt and glee, saying, "And why is that, physician?"
There are others who need treatment. It is urgent.
"Can he walk? Can you walk, Lord?"
He will sort of mumble to himself and walk out the door. You can hear it closing.
I would hold him or stick close to him, ensuring that he walks properly and I take care of him.
The Inquisitor gets up, holds your shoulders, and you carry him. He occasionally just looks at you, and whenever you look back at him, he like raises his head and tries to face you directly. It's just staring into your eyes. Where was I? Where was I?
Doesn't matter. You're here. You're alive. There in your lungs and a beating heart in your chest. That's all that matters. You're everything that matters.
He'll look down at his hands, trembling once again. Where do you want to take him?
I'll bring him to the acolyte's room.
Mm-hmm. Alright. The rest of you are sitting in a padded white room with automatic doors. It's a beautiful lounge with metal tables and chairs. There are hallways leading to 2 other rooms. The floor has tan tiles and the walls are sort of soft. There's this occasional beautiful tapestry with diffused drawings of ships and different worlds. You also spot these adorned pillars along the walls. One of the doors leads to a large hallway with several adjacent bedrooms. Through the other door you can see a spa and a corner of a pool. There are 2 servitors inside. Food and drink to your heart's desire. Suddenly, you will hear a beep on the door. A red light will sort of fill the room, the dark room that you're sitting in, and the door slides open. You spot Stefan first walking in. As he turns around, you can see that Constantinus, the knight, is hanging on his shoulder. That's where we can begin.
Constantius, are you okay?
Thank goodness, sir.
Constantius, are you okay?
He's not responding.
Do not worry, Dustin. Constantinus now is in a better place. In his stead, someone greater is here.
That
And at this stage, you'll actually see Duskin take 2 steps back and unclip his weapons and say, he means something greater.
yes. What do you mean by that? And there will be a slight hum coming from Iskinder.
With a fanatical look, as Stefan removes the Inquisitors from his side and steps in front of him, clicking his hip and having his hand on a holstered weapon with smoke emanating from an incense burner, says, "Inquisitor, Dustin, is back. He's alive." Constantinus decided to give his shell for the good of Askellon.
Give his shell? What are you talking about?
Not sure that this is. This does not sound logical.
A human body cannot hold 2 consciousnesses and 2 souls, Dustin. There was a need to make room.
Sarah, we might have to do that thing.
You 3. No. I want to speak to Constantius. Wake him up.
Before you do that, I'm just thinking, what with everything, this is as it appears. That is very good news. But considering the status of the Inquisitor and where he may have been, I think it is probably prudent to at least make sure it is just him.
It is him.
It is not the Inquisitor.
Jericho will walk.
It's
Will have walked all the way up to you, Stefan, whispering in your ear. Is it him?
With a fanatical look, looking at Jericho, Jericho senses something a bit different in Stefan. There's something in his remaining eye that wasn't there before, but Stefan says, "Of course it's him. I would know. As should you."
We should still probably check, though.
We'll find out. He's gonna look at the Inquisitor.
all.
The Inquisitor slowly looks back up. It's you. He's gonna hold his hand on Jericho's chest.
With all due respect, everyone here, Inquisitor cannot be back. Inquisitor will not be back. He is dead. Currently, if he currently
Certainly with the current
sits at
data.
the Emperor's chamber. He's currently sitting at the Emperor's table.
If
What that
If we are wrong.
is an abomination.
You would see Stefan
Not
snapping
only
back.
Stefan has also said that he sacrificed Constantinius, one of our own people, to bring this abomination into this realm.
Nothing.
It's something that cannot stand.
I don't disagree with you on a few things. I think we should certainly at least establish a baseline. Let's just see whether there is a clear and present danger, of whether the data is supportive of the theory or against it. We can do some tests to make sure that nothing is going to happen, and at least then we can continue to talk.
Well,
in the corner of the room, you see a frail humanoid figure appearing, sliding out from the darkness. The room is lit with an even red glow from the light of Blood Mequin behind you.
Oh my, where did you come from?
Is this a bad time? She'll sort of flutter and move into the room.
Of course not.
I'm not entirely sure. There's not enough data.
Two childlike, vulnerable eyes shimmering from under her dark eyelashes. She has short, white fur instead of skin. Doesn't look threatening. Reminds you of an animal.
Stefan Bertram's amber over while looking at Dustin, saying, I did not sacrifice Constantinius. He willingly gave himself.
The data is inconclusive because there were no witnesses.
You still sacrificed him.
I did not. And should you choose to make his sacrifice be in vain, Dustin?
There is a simple way we can resolve this. I mean, at the moment, we don't know either way whether he was sacrificed, willing sacrifice. But what we can at least do is establish some baselines as to whether it was successful, whether it is Constantinius, whether it is someone or something else. And I think we should certainly establish that baseline so that further data can be shared and considered.
Yes. Let me initiate my proposal as Doc detaches from the wall he was slouched against, walks over to Constantinius, and knocks on his forehead. Hello, Constantinius, are you in there?
The moment you try to come close, Stefan would immediately raise his Stormbolter and drive down. Not you.
An expression of extreme vulnerability. He sort of crouches back into his suit. Cold. You can see his blood flow isn't there. He's pale. His eyes are sort of glazed over. He looks at you and sort of slithers back.
Yeah, Doc looks back to the rest of the group. Yep, Constantinius isn't in there. And who is this supposed to be, Stefan? Who did you bring back?
Who else?
Doc will look at what Stefan refers to as the Inquisitor. My lord, what is your command?
The Inquisitor
Are you happy with the circumstances?
Slowly lean towards your ear, Stefan, and whisper, I need help. It starts vomiting all over the floor.
Could that be some form of void transference sickness?
Silence. Sarah. Send a hymnal to the Inquisitorial cruiser. Tell it to emerge.
Constantine.
You be quiet, Dustin.
Stefan, if we just do the tests, then that will do better to elicit a more positive response from everyone here. Because at the
Perhaps,
moment,
yet he is in a most vulnerable position. Can you not see that, priest?
He is in a vulnerable position, but I think that's why it's important to do some tests.
It requires a physician.
Yes,
We could
and
do both.
Doc raises his
Not
hand.
you.
Okay, look, buddy, you're either going to kill me right
I
now,
must sit
or I'm
down.
going to kill you, or you're going to let me
He tries
figure
to sit
out what's
down on the
happening
stool.
with, as Doc gestures to this person, if it is the Inquisitor or not, because obviously you're probably going to end up getting killed not before too long for this, but I might be
Leans
able to
down on the
save
chair.
whoever this is.
Lays
We
down
can
on the
send
little
the-
chair next to him.
We can send whoever you want, but we should also be sure ourselves. We can do both.
And Doc proceeds to pull out a diagnosticator and begins putting the electrodes on Constantinius's chest, begins opening his suit, putting them on, begins starting an IV line and getting a set of vitals off of Constantinius.
Sarah, no, one word to the side, and Iskender will kind of like, just wander off with Sarah for a second and, hush down. Do you think now would probably be a good idea to see whose mind is in there? Possibly for both of them.
I do think that would be a good idea, yeah. I just don't know what sort of reaction we'll get if we try.
Well, I mean, we could try the honest approach and say it would be a lot less difficult and painful if they willingly submitted to it. Surely.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, but again, I'm not sure what sort of reaction we're going to get if we try, because there seems to be somewhat of a division in opinions of how to handle this.
I think certainly with what's going on, I think for our own safety, I think it probably doesn't matter. We probably need to do it anyway. If it helps, I can run interference and distract while you do it.
I mean, I think, as you said, it's better to try and do it openly, but we'll just have to see how it goes if we do that, because they might not want us to.
I'm still a little bit disconcerted about Servitor Drone 31215 when we first threw. And for all we know, we could have a similar situation.
Okay, if we're going to do this, let's just get on with it.
So, yes, I think we should at least try and convince them openly, and if not, we shall have to pick our time.
Doc will pierce the Inquisitor's skin and start an IV.
Yeah, he's already vomited, so he's probably losing some of the electrolytes he's probably going to need to keep. So I'm going to go ahead and start with 0.9% normal saline. He seems to have low blood pressure, so that'll help fix that. But whatever is causing this illness is not physical. It is definitely mental, or, as he looks over at Sarah, something conjured from the warp.
Awesome. The Inquisitor, still moaning, feeling terrible. Jericho will be kneeling down by his side, holding his hand. The Inquisitor is pale. Just breathing faintly.
Yes, the fluid should help get his blood pressure a little bit higher. If it gets any worse, I have something else I can give him to constrict his arteries to help raise the pressure.
He's going to hold his belly. You don't need to look at who I am. I remember. We were searching for a world. The hidden world. He looks back for confirmation.
With both guns in, and Stefan will crouch down over his shoulder, saying, "Yes, my lord. Askellon 1.
Askellon 1. He's laying on his side, one hand on his belly. His armor is off. And he's just there in a shirt now. His hair is sort of hanging over the edge of the single chair.
Doc will push him back to kind of get him to straighten up a little bit more in the chair to help with his ease of breathing.
Someone murdered me. A friend. He looks up. You can see he's got tears in his eyes. He sort of looks around in the room. I don't know who.
I mean, if it helps, if you can't remember and you don't know who, that is another thing that we might be able to decipher if you just let us, or let me check you.
She'll look at you, Sarah. Look back at Stefan.
Like a warp touched. She's good in her field of study. She can vouch for your sanctity to the others.
Almost like his head isn't properly attached, just wobbling. He will sort of wobble back and look at you, Sarah. Do you know
Carry on.
place of beauty and peace? I wish to go back.
I know many places of beauty and peace, but I'm not really sure where you're talking about.
He'll, his eyelids slowly glide down as he sort of falls asleep for a second.
I try to shake him awake, saying, "Do not worry, Lord. You're exactly where you need to be."
He will wake up again, looking at you. Deep breath.
I then shoot Dr. Luke, saying, "You're not doing your job well enough. I don't need to remind you that his fate is tied to yours."
I don't think it's best to begin threatening people, but if you feel like that is what would give you the best results, go ahead, Stefan, because that definitely has worked for you since we've gotten on this station.
Yes, I did my job.
Yes, that
detecting
fails to be
hostilities.
seen. If this is not Constantinius and this is the Inquisitor, then we have not only... Oh, gosh. Well, the good thing is, the rest of us were not a part of that. So whatever condemnation is coming your way, that will be for you to eat alone.
Don't worry.
See, Doc,
You're better
we
to
are,
know.
we
I'm
are all a part
detecting-
of this.
I'm detecting a lot of hostilities, and really we should be
No.
a unified cell.
Stefan will take the blame, and he alone, and the Inquisitor will be left into our care, and we'll see if we can rehabilitate him. Now, what about that cruiser you were talking about, Stefan? As he looks over at Constantinius / the Inquisitor, because Doc really can't make up who it is at this point. I think we're going to need, their expertise and their psychers.
Sumakri Corpum will lean down next to you, his red robe hanging over the side of the chair. He is very concerned. His Mechadendrite sticking over his shoulder will sort of peek down, open the Inquisitor's eyes. And he will sort of study him for a little moment as he looks back at you. The Omnissiah should have been involved. It's a flesh abomination.
Well, it's too late to rectify that, unless you think there's another way to do that.
You can see him sort of looking down, processing for a second, looking back up at your eyes. I will keep quiet. He seems deeply disturbed.
We already have a means of determining whether it truly is the motive force of the Inquisitor right here. So I don't know why everyone is reticent to attempt it.
Doc steps back. Okay, we can do that. And he walks over to, I guess, the group's collective armory in the corner and begins picking up pieces of gear, putting it on. You see him putting on his armor. You see him grab his bolt gun, magnetize it to his hip, make sure that it's loaded. And as he looks back to the others, as he's fully put on all his gear, you can do that now. As he detaches the bolt gun from his hip, raises it up, and just looks at Hannah and Stefan, waiting to see what unfurls.
So as long as you're all right with this, then I'll try and do make it easier for you. Stefan, obviously at the moment you are the one who most protective of Constantinius, the Inquisitor. We really would like to prove to all of us and you as well, without a shadow of a doubt, that this is the Inquisitor. Would you consent to the group consensus of Sarah attempting to verify the identity?
It takes, Strandir. Do it fast.
Splendid.
Step in between the Inquisitor and Doc. Stefan stays facing Doc, no further than 5 meters away from the Inquisitor.
I walk right up to Stefan, put my nose right against his, and say, "You need to stop this little dick measuring contest you're having. I'm really getting tired of it."
Please,
and
everyone.
He steps to the side of Stefan and lowers the bolt gun against Hannah's head. Just in case.
Amber will rush forward. No. She's gonna try to hold your weapon. No.
I allow Ember to hold on to it as it's slowly being lowered against Hannah's head and says, "Well, this is just a precaution in case something else happens. If nothing happens, then nothing gets done. If something does happen, then, well, we'll still all be alive to talk about it afterwards."
And this is probably standard operating procedure in the Guard and other less clandestine organizations. But really, I do think that
we are not
Hereticus on the subject.
Or Malleus. We are Xenos. I deal with Xenos. Everything else is beneath me and my concern. I'm going to do what I feel is right. Sorry,
At this point, then, you'll actually see that Duskin has moved to the other side of the room and has his pistols out and goes whenever Doc says their what they call Ordo Hereticus is beneath him.
Yes, I'm thinking before everything gets too out of hand. What I would appreciate if the attention was on the subject. You could all go to the edges and keep us in sight and surround, which would be the optimal way to cover. If your attention is purely on Sarah, then you might misfire, and I can tell you now, if the worst case scenario does happen, and you know the subject here is something else, Sarah is our best chance of surviving it. I can testify to that. I wouldn't be alive without her.
Do your job, Sarah.
Sander, can honestly give you, I give you my word that I am not looking at her.
Thank you.
As you can see, that what he is actually staring at the ex Constantinius.
Thank you. Your attention to detail is very much appreciated. I would urge those not involved to stay at least 6.65 feet away at equidistant points, just in case. At that range, you will still be in a protected field should anything happen, and also as well, you will have maximum coverage to spot anything that might happen. I would say please be careful of crossfire, and from my studies, I would probably appreciate some care. Please don't be jumpy. This could be quite odd, but please give us the benefit of the doubt. We sort of know what we're doing. Excuse me, Constantinus or Lord Inquisitor. Are you? Can you hear me?
For those of you get an inspiration point, the Inquisitor is sitting upright, but his head is tilted forward. His black hair is hanging over. It's wet. And it's sort of hanging in these bundles in front of his face.
What I'll do for the sake of brevity, if I just refer to you as Sir, now, do you consent to Sarah to have a look within your mind to just make sure that you're mentally what is the word?
Jericho, who's kneeling by his side, holding the Inquisitor's hand, will sort of grab your side. Just do it.
Yes. Sir, do you consent to a mind probe?
Yes, he consents. Do it.
Right. Okay. Skinner steps back and to where Sarah is, and as you lead.
And Duskin will have taken a step back and given Sarah they call it a point-to-point. They call it a point-to-point communication, intelligence only.
Okay.
Won't stay in there too long.
I will walk up to him and kneel in front and start trying to reach into his mind.
Do a Senescence test. -20.
-20, okay.
Nice.
So always call out the results of your tests. can't hear you for some reason.
41 I got is a success.
Okay.
Success.
Okay. You are inside his mind. You can read his surface thoughts and recent memories.
Is there anything to do with the surface memories or recent memories? Is there anything to do with the murder? I'll look for that as well as other things, sort of anything kind of supernatural.
Yeah. You close your eyes, and for a brief moment, you sort of disappear. Do you want to immerse yourself completely?
Yeah.
Okay. You find yourself standing in a foyer, a large hall with pillars on either side. The floor is beautiful marble, multicolored dark murals. You can see banners hanging on the walls. There's a huge chandelier in the ceiling, lights shimmering down into the room. There are two men standing next to him. One of them has a beard, black hair, and the other one has a sort of hood over his head. They're both carrying automatic weapons. They look very specialized. You see someone in front of you. Suddenly there's a bright light, like someone fired a gun. You get down, and then you just feel cold and up against the side of one of the pillars, sort of crawling around. You try to reach for your gun, and then you hear this loud bang, almost like someone is shutting, like throwing a door shut. And then you just see white.
So I didn't see the face of the person that actually did that, or...
You did see the face of a person to the right. That's the only face that you saw, the last face.
Okay.
And, it was this face.
I'm assuming it's not anyone that I would recognize. So I'm seeing this through the eyes of through his eyes. Do I know sort of via him who this person is, or?
No. You have no idea. Someone close.
Okay.
You can just feel the feeling of familiarity as he looks at him. Do you want to access any other memories?
Is there anything that only the Inquisitor would know that I could access to confirm that it is him?
That's up to you. What level of secrecy would you expect no one else but the Inquisitor to know?
I don't know, maybe some sort of like childhood memory or something that is...
Yeah, you can try that.
Maybe planet of origin, like some kind of identifying feature of a memory that only he would know.
Right. You're trying to direct his mind. And I want you to do a willpower test at flat will.
Oh, what? Sorry, no modifier, did you say?
No modifier.
Okay.
Nice.
With 2 degrees.
Very nice. You see a bright cobblestone room. You look out the window and you can see this just wall of smoke. There's rain outside and you can hear the trickling of the water. There is a man with a dark black robe standing in front of you. He is holding a tome that he sort of slams down on the table. You will look down and you're studying this book As you look at it, you can do a lore test for me for the Ecclesiarchy. Common lore Ecclesiarchy.
Mm.
-10.
I don't have any common law in that area, so should I just...
You can roll intelligence with an additional -20.
Yeah, so
Okay.
-30 in intelligence tests.
Okay. Oh, failure with six degrees.
Do you... Yeah, you probably don't want to try that again.
Yeah.
Or... No?
Yeah,
The-
could I try doing that again, or...
if you want. You could burn an inspiration point.
Yeah. -30 again, I assume.
You only have a 10% chance, so it's... maybe not very likely.
What are we seeing as she's doing all this?
Her eyes are sort of flickering.
It's a failure with 2 degrees. Not quite bad, but still a failure.
No, you have no idea where you are.
Okay. I mean, I've got a description that I can give to people when I come back, so see if any of them can identify. Is there anything in any of these memories that would indicate sort of some kind of like warp presence or anything wrong?
Not from what you've seen so far. You looked for very specific memories.
Are there any memories from it's random. I don't know if you would have memories from sort of being dead. Is that sort of thing he would have memories from, like where he was, or because he's talking about I want to go back to the beautiful, peaceful place. I don't know if that's referencing when he was dead.
You can try to look for it.
Yeah.
Do a willpower test.
No modifier.
Nope.
Success with 3 degrees.
Beautiful. You see a just this soothing wave of energy and bright light. You are at perfect peace. It's a very transcendent experience. Then you see this kind of choice. You can continue on this journey, or there is someone who needs you. Someone is desperately calling for your help. And you sense this area beneath you where you can go back to the filth, to the toil and sweat and blood, and just this horrible, twisted place. But there is something good there that needs you. And you make the choice to return. And that's the last that you saw of that particular world.
Okay.
It's sort of an out-of-body thing. You don't feel like you're in a body at all, just floating around.
But there is nothing sort of weird and wonderful aside from like the weirdness of the whole thing anyway, but there's nothing kind of warp presence or anything like that. Okay.
Not in that good place. That's what you specifically look for.
Yeah.
Do you want to look in more places in the warp? You can do that.
Why would something that he would know is why he recruited us?
Very nice. Who are you asking about then?
It's Kinder and I. Because I mean, I wouldn't know why other people were recruited. So
yes. Do a willpower test.
Success with 6.
You will see the inquisitorial ship that makes contact with the exploratory vessel. And you will see through the window of a ship approaching the vessel. It looks exactly as you remember it. You're seeing from the Inquisitor's eyes.
Hmm. Do I know what he's doing or thinking as this is happening, or?
He's approaching your ship, and it all seems like routine. He has a bunch of worries. He is on the way to another mission. And this is a little detour. Your ship has flown his direction, not the other way around. He's there to pick up some.
So did he bring us in directly while we were while we were derelict in that ship?
Mm.
Okay.
There's another memory. As you access his mind, James is the one closest to him. You see this pitiful child covered in mud and blood, starving. Sort of desperate look on his face, just running through the hallway. The Inquisitor will run after him. He keeps yelling, "What do you want from me?" And he grabs the child. And looking into his eyes, you can see James.
Oh, so James is the child.
Yes.
Okay. I will come out and relay this to other people and see if they can verify any of the things I've seen. And I mean, me and Iskander can verify the ship that we were on.
As you release your hand, this flow of relief just comes through you. You draw breath and look down. You at least know that there is something there, but the presence that you felt is sort of buried, not properly attached to the body. It feels unlike anything you've felt before. Almost like the soul isn't fully expanded in the body yet.
So it's the soul of the Inquisitor, but it doesn't feel like it's sort of fitting the body.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah, it feels like scattered, like you're grabbing things from around nowhere, like, yeah, it's not centered in a point.
So if it's not, I don't know how this would sort of be described, but if I can kind of see that it's not sort of fitting properly, is there sort of like a dead space that I can see, or is that like a tangible thing that I can feel or sense or see, or what?
It's like normally you reach down to a person and you grab them, and it's almost like you can see visually in your inner mind that you're reaching into their body, and it's like buried inside their body. But here you're touching the flesh, and pieces of information are splintered out into nowhere, and you're like, you can't locate it.
From what you're describing, even though it does seem to be the intelligence of the Inquisitor, could it be a facsimile rather than the Inquisitor himself? Could it be like an echo?
I think I mean, none of us really knows enough about this process to know. Maybe it. I mean, it seems splintered at the moment, but that might be temporary. I don't know if that's something that it kind of would come back bit by bit. Maybe we should check, or I should check again in a little while and see if it's still the same.
Seems like there are similarities to the Rite of Sutek, which is a process whereby we can transfer the intelligence of a Magos into a more pure mechanical form, thus losing the weak flesh entirely. It could be somewhat similar in that there is a period where effectively the motive force takes time to reknit itself into the formed corpus. It's just I've never. I mean, it's theoretically possible with an organic body, but also as well with our prepared Magos corpus shells, they are empty and purified before the motive force is transferred. This could, theoretically, if there are comparisons, it could be that Constantinus is either maybe not in there, but there is an imprint, and the motive force of the Inquisitor needs to essentially learn to drive limbs and feelings and senses that aren't actually his. It could well be that it needs time to adjust. This is certainly not something I have considered. It's theoretical, but not.
It is theoretical, but we don't have the time for that. And you'll see.
Sorry.
Oh, carry on.
Well, I was just to say, this is why I suggested checking again in a little while, because as Iskinder says, it might just need time. But yeah, it's not really something that any of us have seen before.
Can we even afford that little while?
Hold on. You'll have actually seen that Duskin has taken the what are called hand cannon and is now loading it.
Doc from next to Hannah just lowers the bolt gun, magnetizes it back to his hip, and takes off his helmet as anyone looking upon him would see small streaks of tears running down his cheeks as he goes down into a knee in front of Constantius's body and just rests his head against his knee, saying, "My Inquisitor."
He will slowly raise his head. Rise.
One thing I would certainly
and
suggest...
Doc would rise.
He is going to stumble one step ahead of you, almost like he's not fully animated, stopping right in front of you. He will just lay his hand on your shoulder and give you a slight smile, almost like he's remembering something.
Doc returns the smile and gives him a nod in greeting.
He will look away, and sort of you can see him getting filled with emotion.
It is good you are back.
I wish to not see myself this way.
This was not what I would have chose for you, but these are the results Stefan has, well, come to.
His head
Maybe
slowly tilts over his pale. You can see his eyes are watering. I hoped that you would find me.
Well then, I'm glad that we were able to.
Now it is we, Doc.
Doc gives a very embarrassed look as he looks down to his shoes and shoots you a side glance and says, "Yes, I was wrong. And for that I am truly sorry."
Might I suggest something, actually? Because we are at somewhat of a crossroads. And if you'll permit me, I have some suggestions. Does anybody object if I talk?
Make it fast.
I can
No.
talk fast.
Because next is violence.
Well, I mean, at the moment, everything is still in the balance. I'm thinking that depending on what everybody's opinions are, certainly if we are in agreement that this is the Inquisitor, then we do need to legitimize the fact that it is the Inquisitor. I would suggest that there is a certain amount of regular monitoring, data collected, not of the Inquisitors' memories and things. That would be a data breach. But in order to effectively purify and sanctify in the eyes of the Omnissiah, need data and to um, work out how this happened and how possibly we can explain it using the blessed Omnissiah's teachings. That way, we will be able to um, head off any accusations of heresy. And it doesn't look good at the moment, but the fact of the matter is, he seems to be here, and it seems to be him. And we have. I think what I would recommend is the depending on the security level, but the comparison and further study of the rights of Sutek, in order to draw comparisons and possibly to be able to legitimize it that way. What does everyone
Fear
think?
not. Once the Inquisitorial cruiser shall show up, better men than you and me will monitor the Inquisitor.
I'm also going to turn to the rest of the party and say, while I was looking as well, I saw the surface memory from the day that he died, and I'll describe the face of the person that I saw in that memory to see if any of the others have any idea who that might be.
Recalling the location, Stefan would perk up, saying that you described the Savarun Karil's estate, and describing the person, a name escapes Stefan's lips, saying Zaul, and then he seems to almost stop himself before spitting from between his teeth.
It was somebody close to him.
He was the last person to have seen the Inquisitor. Can you confirm he is the person that killed him?
I mean, if the description matches the person that you're naming, then
Yes, you've seen it with your / his eyes, so it would be the last thing he saw. So, yes.
Will fucking drag his body across the stars once I grab a hold of him.
Well, it seems that we have use for my small team then, don't we, Stefan? A new target.
who is this person to this group or to the Inquisitor?
Old acolyte, older than me and Doc. He's been active in the Inquisitor's retinue before I finished my indoctrination and before Doc joined us.
Is he possibly an acolyte of the other group?
Well, I doubt the Inquisitor will make this mistake. Mayhaps he defected.
That could be a possibility. One that will cost him dearly.
Are we still potentially going forward with the idea of having a truce with that other group? It was one of the ideas that was at least casually thought about. Would it be worth keeping an eye out if we did go ahead with that plan and see if he has joined that side?
Shall see, whatever it is, we shall now focus at the matter at hand, as I turn to Somarkari, as he refuses to partake in the Inquisitor's care. And then at Jericho, signal the cruiser. Tell them we have a path to Askellon 1, and we have managed to recover the Inquisitor.
He looks up at
And
you,
with
very
this-
cool and relaxed, sort of resting his hand on his belt. Right away.
With this, Doc is going to... Sorry, not Doc. Duskin is going to stand in front of the door and say, I can't let the Inquisitor leave this room.
Are
Is
you
there-
still concerned?
Very much so.
And certainly to
Well,
help
then I'm
Duskin's,
sure that what we need from the ship can be brought over and brought into the room for him, if that be need be.
Don't... Doc,
I think
don't
possibly
care.
what Duskin
It's
is
the
referring
fact.
to is there are many variables here, and we don't really know. We need more data to know. We need to be wary of. We need to
As I said
consider.
before, this will have been triumphed throughout the sector. An Inquisitor is dead. To then resurrect an Inquisitor from the dead will invite Imperium to scar this sector. I took an
Ember will
oath
step into the middle
not
of
to
the room,
allow this.
and with her big black eyes, will sort of look at you. Dusky.
I was resurrected.
Good for you.
I think the Xenos race are you? Just out of interest, I don't seem to have records of your genotype.
She's an astropath?
Navigator.
She'll slowly look in your direction.
I am Ember.
Oh, a pleasure. I am Iskinder Verbal, Calzar Sigma 3. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I must admit, the outward configuration of your appearance did confuse me somewhat. Apologies if I caused offence.
She walks over, like just a strange gait, sort of waving her hands as she's moving. She will grab your hand and imitate your gestures. It looks very artificial, like she's trying to do the motions that she's seen you do.
Where am I?
It is pleasing to meet you.
A pleasure.
Have you met my sister?
Who is your sister? What is the identity?
Oh no.
She sort of holds her hands to her chest, sort of worried.
I am not allowed to be here.
By whose authority are you not allowed to be here?
She looks very serious for a second.
I'm supposed to be in the chamber.
Which chamber is this?
The Amethyst Sanctum.
She looks at the door.
I should go.
Oh, yeah. Please don't put yourself in any danger. Pleasure communicating with you.
You can come and see me.
Yes,
She
that would be nice.
forms a huge smile on her face, like a young child, excited.
That would be nice. What is the geographic location of that chamber?
Just think of something bright and wonderful. You will see it.
An interesting experiment.
And Dusk can actually see whether or not it's a bright, happy smile or more of a shark smile.
I can only describe it as like extraterrestrial alien smile. It's truly weird. Her whole facial expressions, movement, everything seems like it's imitating you. She seems very outerworldly, to put it that way.
I shall sort of use my internal auger array and just take some measurements and readings, just for future reference.
She's
Maybe also use a little bit of my tiny essence that I've picked up.
She has a body. She has all the normal things.
Hmm.
She's able to disappear, and will do so right now. Her readings will immediately disappear.
All right.
Sarah, you can still feel her presence in the room.
Interesting.
So, Duskin,
Possibly comparable to the abilities of the Eldari spiders, potentially. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
what exactly did you have in mind?
The players have met her before, if you're wondering why they're not shocked.
Yeah. For some of us confuse her with someone's little sister. Don't worry about it. That's true.
What do you plan to do? What is your idea? What is it that you want?
I think you know. Can't leave here.
Like ever?
Correct.
He does have a point. I mean, the only precedent we have really of those like loyal imperial heroes dying and coming back normally are beatified and become saints. We would need possibly the ecclesiarchy to beatify in order to legitimize.
Yes. Sure. You mean alive, correct though, Duskin?
Look, you know what I mean.
Look. It's the Inquisitor. We can bring other psychers. I'm sure the navigators on board can help as well. I'm sure everything would turn out fine eventually, but I don't know exactly what they'll have to do. From what it sounds like, maybe his soul just doesn't fit the body. Maybe that's what it is.
I can certainly draw some data from the rights of Sutek. I'm sure I'll be able to withdraw the specifications in order to make some comparisons with known data. That's a starting point.
I don't agree with what has happened, Duskin.
Listen, don't care what Sarah says. Don't care about the data. Don't care about your feelings. Simple fact of the matter is, if he goes out into the sector, if he is revealed as the Inquisitor, he will bring devastation to this sector. I took an oath to protect this sector.
You also took an oath to protect the Inquisitor.
My oath to the Emperor overrides that.
And do you believe the Emperor wants you to kill the Inquisitor?
Stefan went in, he ripped the Inquisitor, or what we believe the Inquisitor was, from the Imperium. Sorry, from the warp. That is not the natural state of things.
No, yes, I know.
The natural state of things is we live, we fight, we die.
Yes.
Death descends in.
And Stefan
Who-
caused something to happen.
No,
And now here we are.
the Inquisitor was the Inquisitor. If the Inquisitor was a living saint, he would have come back by himself. To do anything else is to spit in the eye of the Inquisitor, to spit in the eye of Malcador the hero, and it is to spit in the eye of the Emperor. I'm sorry, I cannot let that stand.
Stefan would holster in his Drevdan, but not his bolter, put a hand on your chest, Doc, closing the distance between him and the Duststream, but not leaving the more than 5 meters away from the Inquisitor. Looks at Duststream, saying, "The only natural thing that happened, Duststream, is that you and me, though as much as I hate it, are pretty much the same. We both found something we cherished, we both lost that thing. The only difference between you and I now is that I wasn't crippled by fear and indecision, and I managed to bring back that which I loved. Unfortunately for you, you cannot say the same to that poor girl you seek so much to protect."
What are the parameters around the process that you took in order to retrieve the Inquisitor?
Doesn't matter now.
It potentially does. Would you submit willingly to a mind scan just to verify that everything is as it seems?
I cannot do that because it's almost impossible to remember feelings than memories.
Sure, Sarah will be able to holistically be able to withdraw the available data and be able to at least piece together a verification of your identity and any issues that may have occurred that you are unknown to you.
So
Later
Michael
date.
will lay the Inquisitor down on the bed, and the Inquisitor is now resting, laying down on a long bed in the room.
With an empty hand to his side, Stefan will look at Dustin and says, "Dustin, right now there is no more room nor love to spare from my heart. Then I asked you once, are you gonna stand down or not?"
I think you know the answer.
Let us not make this a antagonistic scenario. We are still in the process of processing the current events. We are probably experiencing a reverse of grief and also a lot of confusion with the events that have occurred. Therefore, we should not act rashly amongst us, since we are all part of the same cell. We do need to verify and reassure each other that we each will not be a problem for the others. I think possibly rather than the tacit threats and things like that, it might be better to form more positive bonds and reassurances amongst ourselves.
Don't worry, stranger. If I know my best friend right now, once they put his mind to something, she won't back down.
Oh, of course. It's just there is probably a lot of questions that everybody is harbouring inwardly and secretly. Would it pay for us to effectively network these things in the open? That way, we are all perfectly honest with each other.
Doc unlimbers his power shield and steps over in front of where the Inquisitor is laying down and nestles his bolt gun into the small groove on the side of the power shield, bracing it.
The Inquisitor is resting with a hand on his chest as he lays sort of with his head to the side. Your earlier vision of him as possibly a monster in hiding has changed. You now see His Majesty. There's something majestic about him as he lays there bathing in this light from Blood Mequin, this red light. And Sumakar will slowly close the curtains. And the Inquisitor is completely out, sleeping.
Stefan will take a moment to look behind him, then back at Dustin. If you're sure, Dustin, this is what you want.
Please do not do this. That's all I can ask of you. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe there's nothing wrong with what we have done. Maybe we can fix this in a way. I'm not sure, but preemptively doing this takes away that opportunity.
Yes, I mean, we certainly are at crossroads where, at the moment, we are afforded at least some time to discuss the possibilities and be able to work communally towards a united goal that is the correct one and the right and virtuous one. But we do need to agree, otherwise the end result will be, if any of us survive, we will be at greatly reduced capacity, and we definitely won't be able to protect this sector. We do have some time to reflect and discuss. Duskin does bring up a good point that if the Inquisitor's identity is revealed, that is a lot of attention, which will complicate matters immensely. Certainly, the Inquisitor should possibly continue with the assumed identity of Constantinius, at least, until the right time, at a later time, which gives us some breathing room.
But to actually continue as Constantinius will literally bring a knight's house against the Imperium.
I mean, there is a whole thing.
I have tried to speak to you. Why can you not see this?
I'm certainly not going against you.
He has gone to the Emperor's side, and in his place we have been given the Inquisitor. He will not exist from this day forth. That is all. That is what has happened. That is what has transpired.
I mean, looking at the available...
All we have to do is all agree upon it, and it will be so. No one need not know. If it is...
just had a thought. If we did it for the Inquisitor, what's to stop us from retrieving Constantinius and then possibly doing some sort of transference of motive force to put the right body in one corpus at least, and then we can find a
We will not
suitable,
compound insult with heresy. We have
But at
already
least-
done one foul deed. We shall not do another.
But we could put right
What you've
we've
done is
done by putting
heresy.
well, it's happened, but at least the Inquisitor, if we went through the actual rite of Sutek, at least then he would have a legitimate body in which to inhabit.
Either way,
Which would
this
be less
cannot
dreadful.
happen while he's still here. He needs to be moved to the cruiser.
If
And
that
do you
is
not
the
want to
wish-
at least pay a visit to our old friend?
Who is the old friend? Are you being secret regarding someone in the room? Is it me?
The context is the older Alkalite that killed the Inquisitor.
Ah,
We don't know. We do not know his location, and this does not matter at this time.
just out of interest, I mean, what we could always do, for a slightly longer time, since he does occupy Constantius's corpus, and Constantius was a knight errant, effectively we could protect him by putting him in a knight. Just a suggestion. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying it's a possibility. You know, if we need to protect him and protect his identity. What does everyone think? Because I just want to help, but I also,
Liz.
you know, I appreciate there is a lot of doubt that is happening, and I would be reticent to say that I'm not having a slight crisis of motivation here. I am incredibly loyal, but this is very confusing.
Mez. Will be known. And well, he called. What he called. And essentially, he will be found. He will come after him. Get the Ordos, get the Imperium, and everyone that is ever allied with him, everyone who's ever supported him, will be destroyed. I don't understand why you can't understand this. Stefan, you could lead us. You have led us. God knows how long. Just do it for a bit longer.
As a possibility, you could just take this opportunity to effectively speak to your mentor, and be as great an Inquisitor yourself as you possibly can be, and then allow the Inquisitor to go back to the Golden Throne. I mean, this is, I mean, from a data aspect for you.
That is what I'm trying to say. He is mentor. He is given what he can. And Stefan, you can be greater than him. Just do it. If not, then, well,
Certainly looking at the bigger picture, by insisting the Inquisitor comes back in full leadership for the long term, it does mean that our task of the protection of the Imperium in this sector is made vastly more difficult. At least with the opportunity of you effectively fast tracking becoming the best Inquisitor you can. This means that once he passes back to the Golden Throne, then we are even better prepared. But otherwise, with the friction I see amongst us at the moment, the difference of opinions, at best, our task, we are going to have so many more enemies from our own Imperium. At worst, then we may even turn on each other, and that doesn't benefit the Imperium at all.
No, it doesn't. And frankly, if you continue this coin flip on whether or not you can leave this room. If you do, run hard and run fast.
I must admit, my own views on this are vastly conflicted. I would, if it was the majority consensus, I would work towards whatever the majority deems the best course of action. Things like legitimizing his existence by either the Sutek comparisons with the Sutek, other ways of effectively maybe even positively engendering the possibilities of beatification by the ecclesiarchy. That could be its own.
No one
himself.
need know that he is truly back. He is an Inquisitor. He works best alone and in the dark.
Exactly. We could
Where
even
we have always
keep
been.
him hidden. Yes.
I will know.
I think,
Yes, and you are a part of our warband.
from my own personal view,
Am
I
I?
think there are unresolved things. I think possibly
Yes.
Stefan would
Yes,
benefit
brother.
from
You are a part of our warband.
And once the mentorship has happened, then
Do you think I like this Duskin?
I don't know. Probably not, but you know where I have to stand where I stand.
I'm leaving this room with the Inquisitor Duskin. The only choice you have to make is whether you stand in my way or not. So choose now.
What I think, is there possibly a way that would make it more acceptable for this to happen? For instance, if we, Sarah and I, permanently monitored the Inquisitor just to make sure, and to make sure that nothing untoward happens to either him or us or those around. Would that help?
You don't have neither the time nor you have the team or speciality, and neither my trust.
I think with everything that's going on, I don't think it's your trust that we need to worry about. It's you needing to worry about our trust at the moment. Because if you don't mind me saying, you are the only one that has witnessed exactly what happened. And Sarah and I have seen things, and we know that almost anything is possible under the right environmental factors. And for all we know, you might be the source of the issue and disguising the nature of what's going on.
The only thing I agree with you, Strandir, is that indeed I am the only one who had faith, and I'm the only one who dared go.
Technically speaking,
All of you
no.
stood by and did nothing.
Technically speaking, there were two of you. Only one came back, and that one, well, they came back physically, just not mentally. That from a more malleus standing does look suspicious.
I wasn't supposed to do that.
No, but the fact of the matter
Wasn't
is we
supposed to
don't
do
have
that.
any
It
proof
happened.
to reassure us. As it is, we are being very supportive and magnanimous, but we do need some reassurance.
Stefan, please stand down.
Just like you, I cannot do that.
As it stands at the moment, I think if it's going to come to blows with what's at stake, I think that I would be forced to have to stand with Duskin until we have more concrete reassurances, and I probably imagine that Sarah would as well. And between just the three of us, yeah, I'm not saying that we would beat you, but the sacrifice would be extreme, and your ability to perform your tasks in protecting the sector would be greatly reduced.
I have not spoken yet.
Oh, please, Sir Macri, please.
Stefan, is that the Inquisitor?
I know it to be so. To my very core, I know it.
Then I serve as well. He will walk over to you and draw his plasma gun.
Over to who? Me?
Oh, that's me.
Oh. Certainly, all I am putting forth is that we don't escalate this any further. We are still at the point where we can still be unified. We are just, at odds, and our humors are not aligned. That is all.
But our lives, or your lives, to compare them with that of Askellon, our Inquisitor, calling it a hard choice would be a lie, Strandir.
It's more of the data available, and the data available is inconclusive, and I have to go on the data that is concrete and known. What I do know is that I have witnessed many, many awful things, and this is uncomfortably close, and therefore, until there is more data and reassurances, I think that Duskin is the safer choice for the safety of the sector as it stands at the moment, if it came to that. I am really hoping it doesn't. It's just that, yes,
One
sorry.
question. Ask one question. What is your calculations on the deaths and the damage to infrastructure and, quite frankly, everything?
My calculations, for what particular scenario?
How will it affect the Imperium in this area?
Based on if we are...
Its
sorry.
ability to fight off orcs, xenos, mutants, and demons.
The Inquisitor himself, or our cell as a whole?
No, as a whole.
As a whole. Yes, certainly at the moment we are greatly reduced. If we do not take enough precautions, ensuring the anonymity of the Inquisitor, and we do agree to unify, I predict that our chances of eventually succeeding, no, more per sortie, I predict that we will be
Right.
at a 79% disadvantage.
So a 79% disadvantage on us not being able, and that is the Imperium being able to defend this sector.
Yes, and that is us. That is assuming that we all unify, and the Inquisitor is alive and is known about by at least one major player in the sector. That will increase depending on how many players, in which case it could be quite catastrophic.
Devastating. So essentially, what I called, we'll have a devastating civil war in this sector.
Essentially, we would be entirely reliant on allied factors in order to bulk out the inadequacies of our abilities due to the fact that we are always on the back foot defending ourselves.
Not unless you let us do our job, Dustin.
But our job is to protect and uphold the Imperium. This makes our task much harder. And if it's the unanimous choice, then of course I will go with it. It's just at this stage there is some dissension, and if that is the case, my duty is to provide you with the data as is present, and I would be reticent if I didn't put forward these difficult truths.
Oh,
All right, who all's pointing guns at people? Who's got guns pointed at them?
me and
No.
Somatri are defending the Inquisitor.
Okay,
I don't
I think
have
at the
guns pointed at anyone.
okay.
I think at the moment nobody needs to defend anyone because nobody's trying to leave yet.
Guess
So-
what? I have quick
yeah.
draw.
Don't need to draw.
I'm quite aware.
Certainly, if the factors are further against us and this current situation escalates, now, I haven't fully managed to assess everyone's abilities. I haven't seen like full combat yet, thankfully in my own part. But at a roughly equal coefficient, I would predict that for each loss, we can add a further 33.79% to that difficulty factor.
Are you positioned with us or with Dustin?
I am in front of wherever the Inquisitor is laying, with my power shield out, down in a hunkered stance, and my bolt gun put into the small gun groove I have on the side of it, bracing it, aiming it.
At who though?
It's just pointed in their general direction.
Okay.
You couldn't specify if it was exactly aimed at someone or not.
Right. Like I said before, at the moment there is no need for escalation. I know we're all drawing our sides, but I think it's certainly if we agree not to escalate, then this results in healthy debate and further data being able to be withdrawn and assessed.
Oh, I looked at the Inquisitor. How does he look?
Morton's gone. Yeah.
Damn.
Well, at this stage, what do you call it? I'm gonna up my combead and put a point to Sarah and I can't pronounce that. Iskilder?
Iskinder, yeah, Iskinder. Like Kinder Egg, but with is in front of it.
Damn.
Iskinder, and basically say what do you call? If you back off, stand down,
um, if you're certain, then yes, okay.
Yeah, things feel looking nasty.
Yes. Sarah, are you in quorum here? Are you happy to stand down? Certainly on this secure channel we can, I mean, there are other methods to talk if we need to. But for now, everything's good. Sarah, is that agreeable to you?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
I then look at Doc and say, I pray that you remember your oath to the Inquisitor.
Doc says nothing and just stays hunkered down, looking ahead, seeing what is to unfold.
As Stefan removes a blade from his boot sheath, and the metal collar around his neck forms into a helmet that shields his head. The time of truth, Dustin. I'm not giving you any more time. As I signal to Somatri to take the Inquisitor and take a step forward to the door.
So Macri
Secure
will
channel.
grab him and put him on his feet.
Over the secure channel, Dustin, are you totally sure? I mean, I mean, you have more experience of the group.
Oh,
Is this going to turn into a duel, or is this? Do you at least want us on standby to resuscitate?
no, if it turns into a fight, I'm dead.
What I would say is that we will do our very best for you. We will certainly not forget you, and you have our support.
As Stefan closes the distance before he reaches 6 meters away from you, Dustin.
The light requires a switch to be turned on occasionally every 20 minutes. So currently the room is only lit by the light from Blood Metal. This very dim red light illuminating all of your eyes. As you look at each other, you have this very, very light reddish tint to your skin. Everyone looks almost like you're lit up in flames.
Iskinder's eyes are a bit like contrasty with green.
Nice.
Stefan sits there facing Dustin with a knife in his hand, and after some time, as the station enters this cycle and the light become the noise of the lights starting to power up and it suddenly goes bright, Stefan will engage.
Keep describing visually what happens in the scene.
The tension rises as Stefan faces Dustin. Both waiting for a signal, both waiting for a moment of hesitation or a moment of weakness. After both of them not noticing any such thing, only each other's conviction, the signal is given by the machine spirit station as it enters its cycling, the lumen capacitor bursting with life. Instead of the red room lighted by the sun of Blood McQueen, its artificial lumen come to life, bathing the room in artificial lighting. At that moment, Stefan throws his dagger at Dustin, with another hand reaching for a gun.
Do you wish to engage in combat? I'm asking
Willing.
everyone as a group.
Yes.
Okay. Please stand by. Loading.
Please stand by. Let me make the map. Watch.
Give me 5.
I only slipped down because Duskin told me.
Listen, the guys that at the new member trial couldn't use that excuse, neither can you.
No, it's just obeying orders.
BRB.
You can't throw a knife and then say BRB.
Hey man, it was the signal for the GM to start screaming roll initiative. Besides, I really need a smoke before the nicotine withdrawal kicks in.
So fuck you.
Hey, fuck you!
I can't believe how many things I give you to...
Duffy, are you sure you want us to stand down?
It's completely up to you.
While there's silence in preparation leading up to the fight, anyone looking mainly just Iskinder and Sarah kind of like throwing each other the odd occasional glance with certain micro expressions occasionally flashing.
Is everyone dressed up in their combat gear?
Yep,
Yes.
we did it ahead of time.
Let's see, we are 5. And then you sent Jericho away.
Yep. Let's be honest, this is probably for the best. I don't think poor Jericho can take any more of this. Besides, it's not the first time he saw his comrades die.
It's very true.
I think at this point in the build-up, Iskinder's attention will also be looking at the rest of the occupants of the room to see if anybody else is moving.
Alright. Everyone can position themselves the way they think they would. Stand. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Middle.
Okay.
Hey.
Where is Duskin and Stefan at the moment? Is that where they are?
I literally can't see anything at the moment.
Middle screen, in the middle, but at the bottom middle.
Ah, right. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, make sure I have it right. Yes.
Sorry, are you actually standing there? Or are you moving somewhere else?
Sorry, what was that?
Have you seen the map at the moment?
Yeah, sorry, it took me a while to find it because I was zoomed right out.
Cool.
Duskin,
Are you standing there?
Duskin, Iskender, and Sarah, would you be blocking the way out of the room? Duskin.
At the moment, Duskin did say to stand down, so we'll be certainly wherever Sarah
Wait.
goes, I will be in front of her, but
Yeah, but
I'm
are you
not
blocking
blocking
the
anyone.
exit to the room?
So I'd be blocking the way out.
Oh, you're
Way
there.
out. Okay, that's my question.
In which case,
then you
I
would
will
be okay. Then you would be
probably
over
around
here.
here-ish. Oh,
No, you would not,
Ah.
because
Okay.
that's the exit. So,
oh,
you guys will be up here. The Inquisitor will be collected from there, and you will be standing in front. You can choose who's in front or behind.
gotcha. Sorry, where was the exit? No, I
Mhm.
assume Duskin was standing in front of. That is there, is it? Okay. I will be standing in front of Sarah. Not that I'm much of a meat shield, but
I'm just going to.
yeah, okay.
Just before we actually sort of start, Duskin's gonna say, please, one last time, stand down.
We both made our choices.
It's not too late to still talk this through and come to a mutually agreeable conclusion.
You know I won't back down from this.
There's no backing down required if we just realign our the data so that it is communally concurrent and agrees.
Doc, in a low voice, only says "scramble around" as his bolt gun cycles.
Am I to assume at least it's going to be fair one-on-one fight?
I'm gonna say that much dialogue probably wouldn't happen, so we're gonna stop it there, and you can choose if you continue, but roll initiative. You've thrown a knife. Tell me.
I'm gonna throw it in my round. Yeah.
Everybody roll initiative. That's a button in your character sheet next to your agility.
Six.
To roll for Jericho.
It's supposed to be so much reader.
Sorry,
Oh,
give me
yeah,
2
it's supposed to be
seconds.
something.
Oh, fuck. Maps.
If it comes to it, are there any more, is there any more furniture and things?
Probably soft cover, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't matter.
There is, but it doesn't provide any cover, so it's
Gotcha.
no point putting it. It's just like padded cloth, basically.
Gotcha.
These are pillars that provide cover, and this is also cover. All right, Duskin. You did a surprise round, Tavi. Resolve your knife attack, and then it's Duskin.
Sure. Can I use my entire attack or just the knife?
You said that you threw a knife and then pulled up your gun.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw the knife, which would be a ballistic check at the Dustin. With an aim and close range. Failure, as either Dustin moves to the side or the knife does not connect. It is enough time for Stefan. It's enough time for Stefan to pull out his what was it? His Weber as he takes aim and shoots with his second attack.
Okay. With his Weber?
Yep. Weber. Aiming at the ground underneath Dustin.
Hold on, I'm gonna attempt to dodge.
You first. I must see if I hit. It's not a direct attack, so. Okay. It hits. Do you have leaping dodge?
No, I have dodge at max, so I think maybe.
You are trying to avoid an AoE. As you see this small grenade shoot out from this tubular device. So yeah, if you have leaping dodge, you must move away 5 meters. Also, anyone cutting it, which is both Sarah and Istandir should also roll agility, or if they have leap in dodge.
You say leaping dodge. You don't mean leap up, do you?
And no, leap in dodge is a
No.
talent.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Right. In which case, it's just agility. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. 5 meter blast, by the way, Martin.
Or main blast.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can get out of that, to be honest.
I think Dustin can. He can have moved more than. Actually, it depends what armor
Right.
he has.
Okay. Sorry. What was the AOE?
5 meters, directly underneath your feet.
Yeah. I can.
I
Easy.
can.
Can you move 6 meters? Do you have 60 agility, Duskin?
I have a grand total of.
Or do you have some kind of talent, maybe? Lets you move.
Agility 65.
65. You can move safely out of range. So you run all the way there as soon as the Weber effect happens. You see this web just forming under your feet, spreading out into the room, and as soon as it does, you jump out of the way, roll, superhero roll, and land in the corner of the room. Sarah, Iskander, do the same. Roll a, you don't have leaping, so do agility tests.
Okay. Does dodge count? Or just agility?
Agility.
Move 1 more meter, Dustin, because you're still in the AoE.
No, it's diagonal, so it's fine.
Ah, okay.
Oh no!
Sarah, do you want to subtract points? Do you want to try to roll again?
I do, yes.
Okay. Then you can subtract a fate point. And roll again. A huge web is going to fill the room.
If we succeed, do we actually manage to get out of the area, or just it doesn't entangle us?
You could move out the exit. You can attempt to move out the exit.
Right.
You try to grab the door. It doesn't work. You're caught in his web. We can take... Okay. Iskander, same with you. Duskin, or Tavi, what's the effect?
1d5 rounds plus... no, 1d10 rounds plus 1 of being helpless. Well, snared. Suffering from the snare, being helpless.
Okay, so you can both roll 1d10. /R space 1d10.
They may attempt a strength check as a half action to... Oh my god. Well, it's been a pleasure, 10 rounds.
I'm here for the duration. Yeah.
Or acrobatics as a full round to get out.
Oh my goodness. I rolled for Sarah.
And
We're
10 and
both
10.
Okay, you're stuck in the sticky web. Duskin, it is your turn. And James, Brad,
And
you messaged me early on that you had Overwatch. So you get to do your Overwatch action. The trigger was if Duskin moved.
Yep. And as Duskin would to move out of the way of the Weber, everyone would hear the hard bang of a bolt gun going off, and they would see a shell spiral through the air.
I'm gonna give you a -10 on that since there's a web in the way. Since the web is being fired.
Success with 5.
Success with 5. And it will be happening on your turn, Duskin.
I take a count
No,
dodge.
it would not be happening on your turn. You are in a dodge currently. So, do you have step aside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can dodge again.
Do you have step aside, he says.
Yeah. You dodge one attack, Duskin. Do you have multiple hits? James?
I do.
Okay. You dodge the first attack. Roll damage.
Bruh.
Remember that you gain inspiration points by describing your actions visually. Making them more
As
exciting.
the bolt shells travel. Oh, these also have hallucinogenic 2 on them if they penetrate.
Not the attack type you fired with a single.
Oh, never mind then. Never mind. That was my error.
You're gonna hear this thundering roar as an explosion hits the back of the wall. A panel flies open. Electrical currents fly through the air. The room is immediately destroyed. Duskin, what do you do?
Duskin rolls into a... basically rolls in the crouch, brings up his pistols and shouts to the rest of the party, stand down. Do we really want to do this?
No.
What do we get out of the way, Dustin? Strandil, what do you think as you are taped to the walls?
Really, we don't need to do this. Please just stop.
Leave them alone. Go on your way and run. Because that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna run the rest of your lives. Now it's not because of me, it's because of you. Let them live.
Just in choice of words.
Is that my turn? I just
Yep.
noticed, no?
Go ahead. Everybody, remember, do your turn, try to describe things visually and make it exciting. When your turn is done, say my turn is done.
Sorry, my turn's done.
Or
I've not
whatever you want
shot
to
back.
say. Blah.
I've not shot back.
Much.
Anything.
Right.
Go.
In which case, right, Iskender's got this, the web all over his feet, and he's sort of doing his best to sort of keep on his feet and interpose himself in between Sarah and the rest of the party. Not Duskin, because he's not the present danger. And he's sort of like looking at everyone and saying, look, we don't need to do this. Please just don't. And he's looking to see if any of the weapons they're holding are particularly small, and sort of preparing if they go to fire it is to try and pull it out of their hands using ferric law.
Nice. Stefan.
Stefan will, as a half action,
But
Rear.
Iskander, you can attempt to get free.
Yeah.
It does.
acrobatics, full action.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
basically Iskinder is actually paying more attention, trying to keep everybody alive and disarming people if it comes to it. He's effectively holding an action ready to ferric law if anybody fires.
Disarm.
Sorry?
You would have to be able to move.
Yeah, right now you're literally taped to the ceiling. You're helpless.
Oh, I thought it was just like holding us in place
So
feet
go ahead,
wise.
roll a agility test if you want.
Okay.
It's half action strength or full action acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
full action acrobatics then.
You
Woo!
can do the same, Sarah. Acrobatics test. And you are free.
Did you say roll acrobatics to try and get free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You rip open the web and jump out of it, Taskin.
So yeah, he sort of dusts himself over and kind of, sort of, please don't, and then my turn's done.
Excellent. Sarah, same for you.
I
It's your turn.
Struggle against the web and try and break free, but I rolled with -3 failures, so I do not escape the web.
Beautiful. You get an inspiration point. Stefan, what do you do?
Noticing that one of them escaped, not really sure how to proceed forward, only that the extraction of the Inquisitor is paramount. He will attach the weapon back to his backpack, and from his hip he will move his bolter, and in the other hand also quick drawing the flamer. And that's my turn.
James will remain hunkered down in front of the Inquisitor, and will go back into Overwatch on Duskin. End of turn.
Caster also mumbled it. No. So Akre is going to run up to this pillar, and you can hear it. Duskin.
Duskin's gonna say, okay. Down your weapons. You can leave. We're not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna kill acolytes. Go. Run and run hard. Because you know for a fact the Ordo is coming for you.
Stefan still having his guns trained at both Dustin and the others. He will say, a wise decision. The Emperor is truly merciful. We will never meet each other again.
I feel we will. But you have passport to leave.
Then, Dustin.
Sarah, Sarah and
Verbal. You can call me Verbal.
sorry, dude, I keep fucking this up. What are called?
Adeline.
Sarah Isildur, you can leave with them. I appreciate you standing with me.
Wait, Duskin's not. Yeah, so the others. Duskin's not excommunicated, is he? It's just a parting of ways, isn't it? Everyone's going to still be alive and still loyal to the Emperor. It's just we're parting ways. Yes, is that what's happening here?
Yeah, he's drawing where he belongs, back to the Ordo Hereticus.
Okay, so
You have 24 hours before I start hunting you.
You get an inspiration point.
I'll be waiting.
I do
23
hate to bring this
hours,
up.
50 seconds.
I do hate to bring this up, but my predictions are actually correct, and actually because we have a member of our previous member of our own cell hunting us, that counts as effectively triple. Are we all sure we want to continue this way?
Are you coming or not?
My is to the majority. Sarah, do you concur?
23 hours, 40 seconds.
Doc will entrench himself from in front of the Inquisitor, and with magnetizing the bolt gun to his hip and stowing the power shield on his back, he will help the Inquisitor walk to the exit.
Stefan will quickly follow.
You're dragging his feet across the floor. Make it to the door.
Stefan,
Stopping in the doorway. And looks back.
might want to check your ship for bugs.
You might want to check the guns I offered you.
So we just part company without putting any triggers or drawing any blood? We shall come with you, Stefan, not the Inquisitor. Skin, for the short time it's been a pleasure. I truly hope that we don't actually come toe to toe, and I hope for once you kind of fail hunting us down, but in a permanently death kind of way. Have a good life serving the Emperor.
It's been a pleasure knowing you.
Suddenly the
Been a
door will slide
pleasure.
open, and in will walk a sort of Terminator-looking thing. It is 2 meters tall, fully armored, with a hand-mounted weapon. Looks like a serious heavy bolter. It immediately points it at the Inquisitor.
Bodyguard.
And you will hear,
Is there trouble?
No, step aside. Now.
Yes.
Please identify the threat.
Binary chatter, I will communicate those. False alarm, currently there is no threat. It has been purged and sanctified. There is no cause for alarm.
it will scan the room. You see these red grids sort of crossing over each other back and forth through the room. It will then look at all of you, and unless you say anything, it will turn around.
Thank you so much. Phew. Right. I suppose we better get going then. Right.
Yes.
Um,
Feel the fear. Feel the fear of being hunted. That is what you're gonna fear. And that's what you're gonna feel the rest of your lives.
Oh my.
Maybe that is so, Duskin, but you will not be the one that will kill us, unfortunately. It is sad to have to part this way, but I figured it would go like this.
I tried to talk to you. Tried to resolve. Tried to reach out.
Yes, well,
Tried to make you understand, but you all burned away.
If we are to make the Inquisitor whole, we will need the help of those on the cruiser. We need to go there. I'm surprised you would stop us from doing...
To infect more. Infect more with warp magic.
I don't think that is what we are doing, but if it happens to be, well...
If it happens to be, he has become a monster, and I am the person that stops the monsters.
If that is what you like to think. You aren't the only one. Until we meet again. And with that...
Look at what you're doing.
Yes, serving my Inquisitor. I didn't ask for him to be brought back, but here he is.
Can I reach out and try and form a psychic link between myself, Iskander, and Duskin?
If you wish, yeah.
And with that, Doc is going to proceed through the door with the Inquisitor, leaving behind everyone else if they don't follow.
I think Iskander will follow as well, but will willingly fail the check for the telepathic link.
So, everyone except Duskin. Are you going back to your ship?
Yep.
Alrighty. Duskin, do you want to go? Do you want to go too? I mean, I don't decide what you guys do.
Really want to, but can't.
You can do anything you want. If you just follow them, then that's up to you.
It's a free world. Everyone can do whatever they want.
Duskin, do you allow the link to be formed, or?
Yeah.
In which case, if we've all networked as we are walking along, certainly I will say, Duskin, we will do our best to guide them as virtuously as possible. If things are too difficult, you might want to seek out DM213 Cusio. I would urge, I know responsibilities to the Ordo, but if it goes horribly wrong and we are compromised,
your agreement.
then seek his help.
Now your agreement to keep.
If there is some sort of compromise, then the more of us are there to try and contain it, the better.
Must be kept.
Case in fact, we will.
Now your promise.
We're not betraying the cell. It's just we are trying to make sure that it is. It goes as far by the book as possible, and ultimately we are collectively effective. The parts, the machinery is more important than the individual parts. Therefore, I know you have your duty, but I would at least please implore you to give us a chance to at least steer what is going on. I mean, is that agreeable, Duskin? Or is it a case of really we've signed our own death warrant by walking this way?
I think I'll know that in my words that even if I wished to rejoin Warband, I can't.
we will do our utmost to facilitate that. I think probably at the moment, with tempers as flared as they are, we will stand by and gather as much data to try and facilitate this, to facilitate some reconciliation. And the good news is, at least, we have a very secure connection here with Sarah. So as long as you are within this area of the sector that we're in, then we should be able to just communicate with you. It might just be Sarah. I might not be able to join in over that distance.
Your eternal conflict is of great concern to us. We will not be neutral the next time you
Didn't
board
wish
our
to
vessel
end this
with
way.
military troops and attack our servants.
Sadly.
Now
Yes.
your promise to keep the other Inquisitor out of our way must be kept.
If it comes to
our
it,
agreement is
I will
over.
gather as much data as possible. I will say that depending on the data gathered, if we are able to completely legitimize and sanctify what is going on here, then then I will certainly back that up. But I will be looking, if there are any issues whatsoever,
Now our
then
agreement
I
to
will
keep the
make sure
Inquisitor,
that
to keep the Inquisitor out of our way.
to be in contact.
Your eternal conflict is of
Not
great concern to us.
Yourself at risk.
We will not be neutral the next time
That's
you board our
impossible.
vessel.
We are part of the Inquisition. We are acolytes. That is, risk is our bread and butter.
And
It's just,
Now
the
your
situation that
promise
we're
to
in at the
keep the other
moment
Inquisitor
is
out of
pretty
our way
unknown
must be
to
kept.
most of us.
Or our
We
agreement
don't
is
really know what
over.
we're getting into at the moment. So
You return from a journey to the
say,
land
at
of
the
the
very
dead
least,
with a
the
soul
situation as it
intact.
is, if it truly is
Your
as
internal
dire as we think it
conflict is of great
it's probably
concern
best
to us.
that we have someone
We will not be neutral the next time
on the
you
inside
board our
to
vessel
monitor
with
and
military troops
make sure nothing gets too out of
and
hand.
attack our servants.
I wish it
Now your
didn't come to
promise
this.
to keep the other Inquisitor
I hope
out
that
of
we
our
do
way
reconcile.
must be
Um,
kept.
I
Or
didn't really
our
think I would be
agreement is over.
effectively doing this within our own cell that we've just joined.
Testing, wonderful. Testing, wonderful.
To be honest, neither did I. But here we are. Anyway, get yourselves away. Have 23 hours, 37 minutes.
Yes. I would say that we can't sabotage things at this stage for them as they are the cell, and loyalty is important. What I would say is if the Inquisitor and or Stefan is compromised from a purity point of view, then
Honestly,
yeah.
with the Emperor, you will not be caught short.
Thank you. That means quite a lot at the moment, bearing in mind this is totally not my area of expertise. I'm not that good of a liar.
Of course. Sorry. Go with the Omnissiah.
Thank you. And may the Omnissiah and the Emperor have a place reserved for you. I would also say, should you need it, I'm sure that should you need a replacement form and things, either myself or certainly DM213 Mercutio, even though he is a Myrmidon, he's incredibly skilled at surgery. He has to repair himself a lot. So yeah, if you need assistance, then he would be a solid ally. Just make sure you are very pure.
I will certainly try.
Yes, which is
And
what's making me nervous. Yes.
As he actually, what he called, goes to say, called Sarah, right, sorry. We call go with the Emperor. What do you call it? She is literally bombarded with memories and everything else.
So
It's a very undisciplined mind, and what do you call it? We'll tell her to go with the Emperor, and Emperor protects.
Give you an inspiration point, Dusky.
And that's me done.
Yes. Omnissiah and Emperor go with you, and may they both have mercy on our souls when it comes to it.
As Doc is dragging the Inquisitor along, he looks at Stefan. So, what about the woman here?
So, she is still chosen by the Inquisitor for a reason. There's nothing more to it.
No, I meant the woman here on the station that you didn't want me to see.
Do as you wish. As soon as we get the Inquisitor back on the ship, you're free to do whatever you want. Out of all that I would hold dear, it would be the likes of you who stand by my side, wouldn't it?
It's funny you thought that I was ever against you.
Truly, the Emperor has a sense of humor.
That he does. That he does. As he takes one last look over his shoulder back at the doorway that leaves Duskin behind.
The Inquisitor hanging on your shoulders will, with one last effort, the last of his energy, turn over, look at you, Duskin. I have never crossed paths with the Hereticus. I will never betray your allegiance.
You didn't, my lord. Nor do we expect you.
He will look to you, Duskin.
And all you'll see is Duskin looking back at him with hatred.
I have no sense of self-preservation here. I know that my true life begins when I am no longer bound to this flesh. My mind is clouded. Your judgment will determine if this can continue. If not, give me a hasty end. Will you, my friend?
At this point, you'll see Duskin, what do you call, basically be taken aback.
He closes his eyes as if to brace. I leave it to you. No one shall intervene.
Ready to this.
Duskin will take out his cannon, put it to his head.
You are about
Say-
15 meters away.
Okay, put it at his head. Say, did you hear? Stefan, did you hear?
I did. And as I protected you and Doc when your mind wasn't right, so will I do now for the Inquisitor.
Wishes to go back to the Emperor.
I am ready.
His work is not yet done. Askellon cannot survive without him.
I can't believe we're here again, but the tendrils of the ice kraken Emperor protects you from the Xenos, the mutant, and the demon. Emperor protects you from the machinations of the foul demons. Emperor protects you. Skin will then put his gun against his head and look at Stefan.
He will not allow you to get this close. He stands directly between you and the Inquisitor. And he will tell you there are no more non-lethals. Let us go as you promised.
There is nothing to fear beyond. Do what is right.
Yes, I will not allow him to die. I will not lose him again.
There is nothing to fear. He's still closing his eyes.
You listening to what he's saying? You so selfish?
Doesn't matter what he wants. Doesn't matter what he needs. Askellon has to have him if it is to survive. My world needs him.
Your world?
All of ours.
Your world needs him? So this is selfishness. This is all about you and your world and him saving your world.
No,
Yes.
I need him.
My Lord Inquisitor, may I ask a question?
His head will slowly turn in your direction. Still, eyes closed.
You wish to pass on, yes? But you also want to leave this.
He shakes his head. No. No, I wish to serve.
You would prefer if we were unified, yes?
I have no preference.
If
Only
you
that
issue a
which
decree
serves
of
the Inquisition. If my life here can be of service, I can wait to go back.
then you can decree that Duskin is forgiven and mentor Stefan, and then when you're ready.
Duskin is forgiven? And forgiven for what?
Duskin, please,
Your
please,
hand.
Duskin, please. I'm trying to put things right. My Lord Inquisitor, would you? That would be preferable, yes, statistically and logistically, yes.
I have no preference.
But it would improve the statistical chances of protecting the Imperium and ultimately serving the greater good of the Imperium.
He sort of looks in your direction, Duskin. I loved you all.
And I, doing this, is a fact of love. You are in another. You're in another's body. You displaced another soul. Can you not see that's wrong?
I don't think anyone is willing to argue against you and your moral high ground, Duskin. We know this to be wrong. We already said this. But here
Not
we are.
talking to you, I'm talking to the Inquisitor.
Oh, he knows it to be wrong. Just look at him. He's basically agreeing.
I remember more now. He starts sort of pointing out in the room as if he's pointing to something he's recollecting. I and others laid a path for you. I make peace. Make peace with the navigators. I have to pray and be healed. He starts looking around the room as if he's seeing something, still with his eyes closed. I have to pray.
Sadly, Emperor probably won't hear your prayers.
You can see a single tear roll down his cheek.
My Lord Inquisitor, your decree here could completely unify us. We are yours to command. Personally, and statistically, I would advise unifying us together.
My decree
I think it takes...
is that you follow your commandments. Serve the Inquisition, the Emperor of Man. Whatever is for its best. Do not make selfish choices. Only that which is for the greater good. He is looking out the window as he opens his eyes.
I will follow the gaze.
The greater good.
Greater good. Cross-referencing. Interesting. My Lord Inquisitor, did you mean that literally?
Get to say that as
he smiles, and while looking at the window lit up by this red light, a very calm, almost naive smile forms on his face, like he's not there, and then he just looks straight ahead, and it looks like he's at peace a little bit more.
Iskinder walks up to the window and sort of looks around, and then says, what's referencing? Astromancy, 54321, cross-referencing, tau sightings,
you don't get to say that, my lord. Not after what you did. Dustin can plead to say it's out of love, but he lies. All I did was sacrifice. I was trained to be a tool for the Inquisition, and finally I met you and you gave me a choice. For once in my life I'm able to be selfish, yet you deny me this.
Wait, he's giving us a command. I wonder, could I cross-reference using my various Xeno savant skills and things, or whether the direction in which the Inquisitor looked, whether that has any significance in reference to the Tau?
No, he was looking at the portal.
Yeah, sorry. So looking at the portal just in case he saw anything, and kind of getting my bearings using astromancy.
No. There's no way to see anything there, just lights.
Okay.
He's looking in the direction of the portal. But I understand the
As
reference.
everyone continues to talk, Doc is just going to keep dragging the Inquisitor along.
Cool. You drag him out
Just-
of the room and back to the ship. Duskin, do you want to stay behind?
Most likely will.
Duskin?
He said he'd be right back.
Oh, okay.
Could I ask a
Yes.
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
On the ship, are there any areas that are disused, difficult to get to, but do have some sort of life support?
Your ship or this ship?
Our ship, the one we're heading towards.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, running a quick calculation. Is there a way that if Duskin were to stow aboard, I could get him supplies, food, things like that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
in which case, if the psychic link is still up, then I will say the following. Duskin, if you wish to come aboard, there is section 5B 521 on the lower aft side. It has a functional life support, and I can bring you supplies should you wish to not remain here. It is a choice if you wish to.
He's AFK.
Oh.
Yes. Alright, we're gonna go back to the ship, everyone.
Okay.
The final scene. Everybody gets an inspiration point, by the way. Awesome role playing. We're going to go back to the ship. Okay, things have changed a little bit here. Let's see. That's good. That's all good. And Duskin is not there. Alright. The Inquisitor will be brought to the sick bay.
Mm-hmm.
And sitting down on a chair. Or laying down, maybe. He has been stripped to plain clothes and is laying back. And Duskin, the last scene as we leave the room, Iskinder communicates to you secretly that you can follow him to the ship and he will hide you and give you supplies so you survive on the ship if you would like. He can smuggle you on board. Would you like that?
Yeah. That'd be good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do a stealth test -10.
Who's that? Me or Duskin?
Duskin. Iskinder, you can do a deceive test.
Oh God, you might not want to come aboard after all. Right. Okay. At least I took a point. Oh dear. This is where I probably do end up need to using it.
You can use a fate point to get a +10 on the roll.
Chess +7.
Beautiful.
I'm re-rolling that.
Yeah. You're whispering it to me for some reason. I don't know. It's being whispered to GM.
Make sure to have the GM untagged from your character sheet.
Is it worth using a fortune point to get? What was the bonus you get to the roll again?
+10.
Is it +10? +10. I may
-10.
Oh, so it's a -10. Okay. Right.
No, that'd be neutral in total.
Okay. I'll give it a go.
Mhm.
Oh god, even worse.
Mm.
Shit!
Walking to the ship, you spot on the way down the ramp towards the ship. You spot Iskinder pointing and like mumbling something to himself and then pointing to the ship. And then you hear the word Duskin. You can all hear this. And then he sort of catches himself saying it out loud, looks around.
Yes, Archimedes, I'm afraid, yes, Duskin's not coming back with us. Yes.
You see Archimedes turn to you, and next to him there are two other servo stars that are Stefan's. Then they turn back to Stefan, then back to you, and they slowly float towards Stefan. As a metadendrite from the Ospec servostal embeds itself into the back of Stefan's head, then Stefan turns to you.
I would say, before you make any rash judgments, I'm all for the unification and betterment of the cell as a whole.
He then removes one of the Tetius servostrals and floats to you, and you can read his lips as if saying that thing never loses sight of you.
Very well. That is agreeable.
Good job, now you have a Tep servostral you can use.
Yeah, I take Scalar as a yes.
Downside,
Smash it.
Stefan knows where you are. You know that Google Maps, Stefan would like to know your location.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bow as Kinder acquiesces to the request, and there's a slight smile as he looks at the other servo skull and goes, "Oh, time to get acquainted. Hello, my name is Iskinder Verbal Kaldar Sigma 3, and it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I'm sure we'll get to know each other very well."
The servostral is more suppressed and basically dumb. You know how machine spirits are supposed to be free to do as they're programmed? This one is the equivalent of a whipped man that was trained and beaten to do as Stefan says it should do.
Looks like you have been not treated well. I'm sure we can sort that out. Anyway, this is Archimedes. I think possibly you two should communicate via binary chatter.
Yeah.
Splendid.
You're able to figure out that he was trying to smuggle Duskin onto the ship.
Mm. I send that out Taylor after Sarah as well. Let's face it, we all know who's the head of the operations. Or at least Stefan thinks.
And after what I called hearing this over the conbeaved, Duskin is just not gonna bother smuggle himself onto the ship.
If the uplink, if the mental link is still going, is it going?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yes.
Yeah. Okay. In which case, mentally, I would go. Obviously, you heard that. I wouldn't worry too much. Give me a short while. I'm sure I can convince the machine minds of this poor servant of the Omnissiah. Doesn't look like it's been treated well, and I think it would probably respond well to a master that treats it with more respect.
Okay, well, I shall I suppose make myself useful. Just walk off in the actual hangar bay and
I would like to examine the servo skull, obviously not interfere with it, but investigate whether it has any noospheric interfaces and other things, whether it's mechadendrite, MIU based, or what are the methods of communication?
just one last thing. What it called Duskin would actually sort of ask Sarah to cut. He called the psychic link as what he called. He can feel barrier that he's put up. We call it from his deepest, we call it memories and things like that, is starting to erode.
Ah.
Got it. Okay. You're dropping the mission of going on board? You're no longer attempting?
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Okay. As you walk onto the ship, you can smell this metallic rust smell. Jericho is sitting there swiveling on his chair. He turns around as you approach. You'll sort of look for Duskin as he doesn't spot him. You can see that he is deep in his thoughts as a light blinks on the Voxcaster.
Yeah, sure. Duskin's probably not coming with us, but yeah, he is still alive at least.
I think someone wants to talk to us. Should I?
Splendid. What is it?
Yep. Flick a little switch. It's the station. Maybe one of you should talk.
I can have a go if you so wish. Is anyone else of higher rank here? Or am I the only one?
You're all gathered there.
Oh, okay.
Doc looks over at Stefan. And Doc goes up and looks at Jericho. Go ahead, hit it. Let's see what they have to say.
Aye. Few return from the journey with their soul intact. How is your Inquisitor?
Well, seems to be much better than where he was found.
That is good. Your eternal conflict is of great concern to us.
It's been settled. Nothing shall disrupt anything upon the station on our end anymore.
We will not be neutral the next time you board our vessel and attack our servants. Now, you promise to keep the other Inquisitor out of our way, or our agreement is over.
No, that is what we agreed, and it will be done.
The ominous voice sends shivers down your spine. The ship just turns quiet and cold as you drag the Inquisitor to the medical bay. On a metal slab, he will be laid down, still conscious.
I will look to Stefan. Well, I guess I'll look to Pete. Would you mind watching over the Inquisitor? I still have some business aboard the station.
Of course.
Thank you.
That would be most delectable.
Yes, I disagree with how things went with Duskin, but we've already lost one person to this. There's no sense in condemning a second.
Yes, certainly. I'm just concerned that statistically, if this has happened like this, then there are fractures within the integrity of the machine, and I am concerned at what the future holds.
Something that I'm afraid you have yet to find out is that some pieces of the machine are replaceable. As Doc gives you a sad look as he walks out of the medical bay.
Yes, that's the problem. It's the attrition rate of the staff here.
He whispers,
Yes.
Can you make me look the way I used to? I don't like this.
Not exactly, sir. But I can certainly make adjustments. I would. I'm a Lex mechanic. I have extensive knowledge. I lack the practical practice, but certainly I can do plenty of research, prepare thoroughly for you, sir, and then make the
I
adjustments.
saw Sumakri. Get him. He is also trained.
Yes. That will be quite a unifying project.
Yes. I cannot stand seeing the reflection of my face in the window. Everywhere. I cannot see myself in his flesh. He will start sort of whimpering.
My Lord Inquisitor, would you like me to administer some medication in order to calm your humours?
Sort of forming a grimace of pain, he lays back in his metal slab and nods. Yes.
Right. In which case, yes. I'll go over to the Medicaid cabinets and root through for the correct pain relief.
Make me look like myself again.
Certainly, my lord. Would you, with the parameters, I assume you want to look like your former self, in the flesh. I might be able to do some quite interesting cybernetic work, which would achieve a similar effect, but it would be more omnisciry
So Macri
in its
will
splendor.
walk around the corner and interrupt you.
Yes, we will improve him.
Splendid. I'm just ascertaining with the Lord Inquisitor whether he really does want to
And
retain
he
as
is
much flesh as
sleeping.
possible, or whether he wants to sort of like ascend to a more
Inquisitor is sleeping.
holy form.
You hear him snoring on the table.
I guess the
Medication is
medicine
taken.
worked. We can begin.
Stefan would be at the doorway and say, "You will do as the Inquisitor asked you of. Nothing more and nothing less."
So Macri throws a wild gaze in your direction.
But he approved it.
Proved that he should look as he used to.
I am sure he had modifications. Something was done. I remember his leg.
He pulls out a huge saw.
Yes, his leg was improved.
He puts the
Stefan would immediately recall everything about the Inquisitor from his cybernetic heart after being shot with a shuriken cannon to...
So Macri keeps bringing up body parts he thinks can be improved. You're gonna keep him in check.
Yeah.
As they begin with his face. And I believe this is a disguise test. Deceive disguise.
I can totally do it.
Cool.
I can make the blueprint for what some actor should
yeah.
follow.
Exactly, and then a Medicaid test to do the surgery. Whoever wants to can do the planning phase, which is a sub-skill of deceive, which is disguise. Yes,
I am very bad at that.
Yes, yes.
So I won't do that now.
Success with 2 is close enough.
Beautiful. He will look pretty much like his old self,
Nice.
provided you succeed the surgery. Iskander, roll a Medicaid test.
Oh,
Minus
good
10.
lord.
If you're not rude, then let some actor do it.
Yes, I
Permanent.
have all of the theoretical knowledge. I think possibly Samakri, if you are more experienced, I will bow to your superior knowledge in the matter and assist.
I see how it is.
I will
Yeah.
also assist some actor, making sure he doesn't overstep.
As soon as you step up to the metal slab, he sort of crawls.
Fine.
It's okay. I assisted Doc. Do not worry. I have experience.
You will fasten his face, and with a knife you see him start to cut. 2 medical servitors will glide over to the table. The light turns off, and Samakri will begin a highly skilled surgery with 4 degrees of success.
Plus 10 and plus 20 from the sick bay.
Plus 20? Okay. So yeah, the surgery is going to take quite a little bit of time. And you will all have had time to rest and do whatever you want. By the time you return to the med bay, even though it's sort of cut up and bloodied, there's something similar to a rejuvenate treatment with some cosmetic changes has been done to the Inquisitor. And as you step into the room, you see his face laying there. Fortunately, he had the same long, dark hair that Constantinius had. And beyond that, his face looks more similar to the way you remember him. You walk in and you see the Inquisitor on the table, and instantly you are in shock. The Inquisitor is here, as you remember him. Samakri will be standing next to the table, proud. Arched back, he sort of turns around in the room.
You can thank the wonderful work of Servitor XE. Bye.
I must admit, your direction has been absolutely expert. It has been an amazing learning opportunity.
Stefan will look at his face and the rest of his body, numbering all of the pimples as he remembers them. He would take a measuring tape to make sure they're the right diameter.
He's still like covered in this goo, and there's a huge like plastic thing over him. But through it, you see a mirage of your Inquisitor. And as you stand there, we can end the session. And anything you guys want to do, feel free.
I did want to just
roleplay, do
ask.
whatever you want.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I guess next session I'll go see that woman.
Absolutely.
Can I ask, as a quick retrospective, while I was assisting with the surgery, was I able to have my Sinai essence just kind of like, as I'm assisting, just kind of working out if there's any weird and wonderful things that make the hairs on the back of my neck go, or anything like any oddities, or does it truly resemble a corpus with a new motive force within it?
I don't understand the question.
Basically, is it because exposure with Sarah on the previous ship, I have a certain amount of Sinai essence, so I can kind of detect warp and Empyrean, sort of that kind of thing to a certain degree. It's more of, as I'm working, just kind of like observing from that perspective as well.
Cool. It's definitely the same thing that Sarah sensed. It is the Inquisitor.
Got you. Yeah, it's
With
right. Yeah, more of
powers.
it. Yeah, taking advantage of the chance that I have like that close, so I can work that out.
Nice. Awesome. You get an inspiration point. Yes, it is definitely the Inquisitor. While this has been going on, James will have been gone the entire day. And James, I want you to roll me a strength test.
What the fuck are you doing?
And then you can roll me a charm test.
Is she literally throwing her hair down and you must climb out of the window?
Yeah. You have your little adventure, James. That day. Let's say it takes a full day. And if you want, you can return to the ship. And we can do a summary later.
Would in this sick bay as the Inquisitor is recovering, I would roll for Sarah.
Everybody gets 400 XP. And I'll see you next week.
That sounds good.
Keep role playing as long as you want.
Is Hannah still here?
Han, you there?
Lost.
I think she is. I think she's got a problem with the microphone. Hang on, I'm just going to go to the other room.
And what did you do? Should I be concerned? Should I expect another Navigator trade house to declare war on us?
Well, only if there's a baby.
What do you mean?
Only if there's a baby.
Your swimmers better be running circle instead of shooting straight.
Nah, man, yeah, think about it. I'm a top-notch operator, just slightly got a few screws loose. Nah, I'm in perfect fucking prime condition.
You also were blasted with a shit ton of radiation, suffered several diseases.
Yes, but they weren't sexually transmitted diseases, which is what is most important.
As far as both of us know.
Exactly.
I swear.
I mean, who knows? Maybe, 20 years from now, someone comes by and some Inquisitor gets a real cool psyker-like kid. Or young adult.
You do know that you need an immaculate, report to even be considered Inquisitor, right?
Well, yeah. I meant like some other person coming by and,
Mm-hmm. Well, PP privilege is revoked. Time for your castration.
Yes, and I will be happily avoiding that.
You're gonna do it yourself.
I'm not castrating myself.
Han's basically on quite a bit of medication about what she went to hospital with. She's very drowsy at the moment. She did catch the end of it, but she's a little bit out of it, and she's going to bed. If that's okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure on the promise that I did tell Sarah that I will, allow her to see what happened.
All right, yeah. If you need to do any role playing, what we can always do is come on a little bit early next time if you want to. If you want to start to do it and actually role play.
Sure. I can come up an hour earlier.
Yep, cool. No worries. Yeah, she's just really out of it at the moment.
Has any of you guys had any other matters? Don't go to sleep because I'm knocked out.
I mean, I can stay on for a little bit longer if anyone wants to role play with the annoying Mechanicus.
Oh, I'm good.
Brilliant, fellas.
Was that a good I'm off, or was that a good yeah, I'll stay on and roleplay? Am I the only one in the room?
No, what do you call it? I'm literally gone, so
Fair enough.
I can't roleplay with anyone, so, you know. I'm basically rolling for another character, by the looks of it.
I did my best to try and keep you on board.
But anyway, that's later, dude.
Okay.
It's late, and I'm actually
Pretty knackered. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm actually coming off the tail end of migraine myself, so.
Did you stop
yeah,
screaming,
that.
Martin?
That we called. Hopefully, Hannah's feeling better.
Yeah. I think Molten's when he said carry on roleplay, I'm assuming he stopped streaming. But yeah, nice. Yeah, Hannah's. Yeah, it is. She's feeling better, but she's still got. It's still kind of ongoing. But it's yeah.
It's what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Anyway, give her my love.
We'll do.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
All
Have
right,
a good
be
one.
safe, man.
You too. Daddy, bye.
All right, see you, man.
Nope.
You still there, Morton?